Howdy gang. Today's episode of Pool School is the third in my series on cleaning systems for pools. This episode is about how to change a pop-up head in an in-floor cleaning system. So let's get going. Alrighty, so before I get going any further, I just want to remind you to please like and subscribe to this channel and share this channel with anyone you know who might be wanting to do their own pool service. Alright, with that said, again, I said this is the third in my series on pool cleaning systems, and I'm going to talk to you about how to clean or how to change out a pop-up head. Sometimes those pop-up heads, they do, in fact not sometimes, they do, they wear out because they're in a corrosive environment and that plastic gets old and brittle and it cracks and it breaks, and the tabs that hold the pop-up head into the floor socket actually break off. And I hope, and you gotta hope, that the floor socket doesn't get damaged, because then you're in a real mess, because that has to be replaced and that has to usually be chiseled out and reinserted. But anyway, if you're going to change the pop-up heads yourself, it is important that you have a tool that matches the type of pop-up head. So this is an example of one of the tools. You notice it has three little prongs. And if you go back to my video and my example of my third pool, it had pop-up heads that had those three little prongs. So those three little prongs sit right into the head and allow you to dislodge it and relock it back in place. And then this end slides right into your pole so that you can, if you need to, attach this to your pole and then kind of angle it into your pool, anywhere around your pool, put it in there and get the head out. For example, today though, I'm just going to use it barehanded, because to do it with the pole, there are many times with these prongs, they don't lock in very tight, and so when you dislodge it, the head falls off. So anyway, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's get to a pool that has this kind of head in it, and we'll get to work. Oh, by the way, if you have different kind of heads, like there's another one there's gray ones that are much larger. I think you saw that in my first pool example in my pop-up cleaning system overview, which was my previous video. Then you're going to want to go to a pool supply company and pick up a head remover tool that matches the type of heads you have. So you can usually just take a picture of that head into a pool supply company and they'll be able to tell you which one you need. All right, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to use my client's pool here, and you notice it's already been, this is a pool that I converted from a pop-up system into a stay in the pool vacuum system. My client loves it, but I'm going to teach you about how to convert your pop-up system pool into a vacuum pool in my next episode in this series. But he used to have a pop-up system, and so this is a good system to use in his example for removing the heads. Now you notice these heads are gray, and the company that makes these, they come in white or gray. He chose gray when he had the pop-up system, and this tool actually works for those. So what you basically do is you fit those three prongs into those three holes. You got to get them to fit in, and I'm just going to use the step one to work, and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise till it clicks. There it goes. And then I can lift, hang on a second, thought it came loose, hang on. There it goes, it just clicked, and now I can lift that head out, and this is the pop-up head. Now I want to take a moment, I'm going to pause and put this camera on a tripod, and I'm going to show you how these heads are supposed to work. Alright, so this is a pop-up head, and the first thing I want you to notice is these little tabs right here. See those? And you see the space in between? Those tabs go into the slot, and then when you turn it, they lock it into place. Now what happens, and this one's in pretty good shape still, but what happens is those tabs, because of the up and down, the pressure pushing up and then releasing on these pop-up heads, those things, and due to the chlorine and the corrosive environment that eats away at plastic, those start to crack right there, and pretty soon they don't hang on to the socket that they sit in, and then your pop-up heads don't stay in and they pop out instead of popping up. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is, if you notice, there's the opening. That's the port where the water squirts out. So I want you to notice that every time it goes up, I'm going to put it in one place and I'm going to push up and lower it, and you'll notice that it's rotating. Every time I push it up and down, it comes down into a different place. right? So the theory is every time it cycles, it pops back down, and notice there's that opening again. It makes a full 360-degree circle so that it should theoretically get everything around it and it doesn't miss any. But again, as these get old, that little ability starts to break off, and it starts to not function anymore, and then these can break off too. Also, they have an O-ring here that seals them in there and holds them to stay in tighter. So a lot of times with pop-up systems, the head doesn't go up far enough, so when it comes back down, it doesn't turn. See how if I just do it partially, it doesn't turn? If I push it all the way up, then it will make the rotation. All right, so that's another problem with these pop-up heads. So that's how you take a pop-up head out. That's kind of an explanation of how it sits in there. Now we're going to pretend this is a new pop-up head, and we're going to put it back in the pool. All right, so I've put my pop-up head into the prongs in my tool, and then you'll notice that pop-up, the opening down there, you see those little spaces in between that those little tabs fit into. So I'm going to fit it down inside of there, make sure it sets down and is flush with the actual surface. This case it's PebbleTech, and I'm going to turn it clockwise till it clicks, and I got to turn it really hard because this one's tight. There it goes, and now it's locked in place, and I just remove it. That's pretty much all there is to replacing a pop-up head. Obviously you want to make sure you have the correct head and you have the correct tool. Now remember, I said that this tool will attach to the end of your pole, and you run a bolt through that little hole right there, and it locks onto your pole, and then you can take them out and put them back in the deeper water. Something I have found when it comes to using these in deeper water is because sometimes this doesn't, the pop-up head down there doesn't stay locked into this, because sometimes this doesn't fit snugly and tight enough to hold it and grip it, that your head ends up not being able to come out. So if you're replacing ones in deeper water, obviously you can use your pole, but my suggestion is do it during the swim season when you can get into your pool, and you can actually put that down in there with the pole, dislodge it, pull it out, and if you need to, you can swim down and pull it out. It's kind of a pain to swim down in frigid water during the winter time. Or if you happen to have drained your pool and your pop-up heads and you need to be replaced, that's a good time to replace them too. So there you have it, my friends. That is my relatively short and hopefully easy lesson on how to replace a pop-up head in your pool. Remember that you need the right head and the right tool if you're going to do it yourself. So if you're not certain, take a picture of it, take it down to your local pool supply store, and they should be able to tell you what you need and which one you need to get. You might want to specify whether it's a step head or a floor head, because some of them vary in the opening of the nozzle based on the different stream flows. The other thing is, if there's anything beyond that you want to know about, I don't do it. I used to try to kind of replace actuated gears and stuff. I don't do that anymore. So my suggestion is contact a licensed, insured, and bonded, and highly recommended pool repair person to come out and do that service for you, or anything beyond what I just showed you when it comes to pop-up heads. Doing it yourself beyond that gets a little bit tricky and can get a little messy and costly and can cause your pool to be down for a while. Now, if you happen to be one of those fortunate people that are the original owner of your pool and the pop-up system that's built into it, and the company that did it is still in business in your state, it should be under lifetime warranty, including the heads and any part of the pop-up system. So my suggestion is have them take care of it, take advantage of that lifetime warranty, because it costs you nothing, and they can take care of it, and then they also should be able to guarantee the work. Anyway, that's my lesson. Again, I hope it made sense and I hope it was helpful. If you have any comments, remember to post them in the comments section below, or you can email me directly, and here comes the email address, kennypoolschool@gmail.com. Once again, kennypoolschool@gmail.com. I want to remind you all to like and subscribe to this channel and share it with people who have pools, who are looking to save some money by doing their own pool service. And as always, with summer coming, even if the kids aren't out by the pool, be safe, have fun, and always watch those kids around water. And I will see you next time.